Welcome to the final game in round 2 of the TikTok Women's Six Nations. England back on the road again, this time in Italy. And the Red Roses looking in good shape ahead of this one after steamrollering Scotland in their opening game.
Rugby in the sunshine, this could catch on. 5 tests and a Grand Slam up for grabs. Pick and go, this time through the middle. It's Gallagher, it's popped off, it's Poppy Cleal! Dow in this news, oh, she's off! Behave, Abby Dow, that is absolutely gorgeous! Burn, show and go! Popped off, ball to Infante! And England finished the half with a 6th try. It's a hat-trick, and it's Marley Packer. The winning streak continues for England, 19 victories in a row.
It's been a tough old start to the tournament for Italy. They lost to France last weekend and now face the other heavily fancied side in England. They like playing in Parma, though, qualifying for the World Cup in this very stadium. Expectation follows England. 19 wins on the spin will do that. It's a much-changed side, though, with competition for World Cup places hotting up. Natasha Hunt back in the fold and ready to state her case. So we're in a sunny Parma for this final fixture in round 2 of the TikTok Women's Six Nations. It's Italy against England. Afternoon, I hope you're enjoying your Sunday. I certainly am, in the company of 2 women who wore the white jersey of England with real aplomb. Maggie Alfonsi and Rachel Burford, pair of them World Cup winners as well. So, Maggie, England got off to a really strong start in Scotland. What was the main positive from your point of view?
Well, plenty of positives for me. Look, they got the bonus point win, 9 tries, which was very good, and they had no injuries, especially with Emily Scarrett coming back from her long-term injury. But it wasn't a perfect game, if you think about it. They made 10 handling errors, 11 penalties as well, so they probably left a few points behind, and even Simon Middleton said he was frustrated by the performance. But this is a team that's going to kick on, and against Italy, I expect a perfect performance. Yeah,
they blew away a few cobwebs, that's for sure. Now, Rachel, Italian rugby got a real shot in the arm, didn't it, when their men's team beat Wales at the end of the Six Nations. Where are the Italian women in global terms?
I think probably the biggest story is the fact that they've qualified for the Rugby World Cup happening later this year. But in terms of Six Nations, you know, 2019 was probably their best finish, where they finished 2nd. So they have the ability and they have the talent to be really competitive in this competition. They know that they've got a huge challenge this weekend, but speaking to some of the players, they're really up for it. They always bring such a great game against England.
Yeah, we're just seeing the team news, actually, are going across the bottom of your screen. One name that's missing, if you like, for the Italians, their captain. She's gone from starting against France last week to the bench this week. That's Manuela Furlan. And one notable change for England is Natasha Hunt is back at scrum half. Mo to her mates, as you will be, I'm sure. Not played since late November 2020. Did she fall a little bit out of love with the game of rugby?
Yeah, she really did. You know, she struggled in that environment around COVID. She's a big social butterfly, so loves to be in amongst with all the players, and those restrictions really kind of probably sapped some of that energy from her. But she took herself away. She's been playing brilliantly for Gloucester Hartbury, where she's also captain. She got the opportunity to play sevens again, Barbar, the captain, captain for the Barbars, run out of Twickenham. And I think that's probably where she felt, I'm not done with this game yet, and had that conversation with Simon Middleton to say, look, I'm playing some of the best rugby. I really want to come back into the fold. I know you've got plenty of talent there, but if you need someone, please come knock in. And he's done that.
She's so effervescent, Mo Hunt. So is Doris Day. That's not a name I expected to mention today, but if you were expecting to see her classic movie, Move Over Darling, well, that's going to be on BBC4 on Thursday night at 9. We'll go back to the rugby. We can hear from England head coach Simon Middleton, who's rung the changes today.
You know, it's only right that we look at all our options, you know, and that's both in terms of individuals and you know, the collective and the units that that go within it. So yeah, it was always, you know, always said it's part of the process, and yeah, I'm sure the players look at it a little bit like that. she's a high-quality player, isn't she, Mo? And, you know, she's brought loads to training over the last few weeks, and it's been great to have her back in. She's really buzzing, and it'll be great to see how she goes today. You know, she's been in sparkling form in the Premier 15s, and be good to see. I think the game will suit her today. You know, how we're trying to play, and good conditions. You know, really fast track. So yeah, she'll be injecting a bit of pace into the game, I've no doubt.
Yeah, Simon Middleton, he's made 8 changes actually for this one. Helena Rowland, she wore the 10 jersey against Scotland. She shifts to inside centre. Now that's to accommodate Zoe Harrison, who had an outstanding autumn for England at fly half. It's actually her first appearance in this Six Nations, and she's been chatting to Sarah Orchard about lining up with not one but 2 playmakers pulling the strings.
Zoe Harrison, that was one for the scrapbook.
Zoe Harrison, absolutely delighted that you are here. Just how much have you changed off the back of what was an incredible autumn where you sort of arrived?
You know, after Helena was in a lot of the Six Nations last year, I was like, I want this 10 shirt now. So I got the starting shirt in the first New Zealand game.
Player of the match as well.
Yeah, so I was like, take control of this team and show them what you can do. Like you do it at Saracens, do it for England.
You can play 10, you can also play 12. Helena's in a similar boat. How important is it, the discussion around you being able to play at both first and second receiver?
Well, because of the competition between me and Helena at 10 and 12, it's like quite healthy competition, and we actually help each other out because then we know one of us may be slotting into 12 or 10, so it's a lot of sharing ideas, and I think it is great that we've got 2 playmakers because, you know, another team, you see in 2 playmakers, you never know what's going to happen. If you've got a ruck and then one side, one the other, you're like, which way are they going to go? I think it's really healthy, our competition, but it's also great when we're on the pitch together.
Zoe Harrison, player of the match over. It's a good day at the office for the Red Roses.
If we go back just a little while, Simon Middleton quite openly said he sent you home from England camp for a breach of COVID protocol. Sort of, how were you in that place? You seem to be in a very different place now.
As soon as that came out, I had phone calls from everywhere. People had thought, you know, because I'm young, that I'd actually gone out and done something. I hadn't actually left my bedroom yet. I just didn't fill it in on time, and there was a bit of a miscommunication. You know, it's done now, it's put in the past. You know, after that I put my head down, played the rest of that Six Nations, and then come into the autumn camp and played as well as I could. So hopefully people have a different perception of me.
I really think they do, because it's lovely for those of us who've sort of seen you, particularly since the retirement of Katie Daly-McLean, take on this leadership role. How do you feel as a leader on the pitch with England now?
As a 10, it comes naturally. You are a leader on the pitch. You know, take it back to Saracens. I've got people like Marley Packer and Poppy Cleal who I've got to lead around a pitch, and obviously they've got big personality. They've been around. If I've done that since I was 20, 21 years old, it gives me the confidence to come into an England team and sit down and be like, right, girls, we are going to look at this, this and this.
And what is it like turning round to a Poppy Cleal and a Marley Packer and going, we're doing this, and both of them looking at you and going, OK, we'll do that?
Yeah, it's a good feeling. Obviously, they like to chip in their views, and I'm like, not today. We'll save that one for later.
I can't wait till they watch this back. Cannot wait.
Zoe Harrison going old school with the black boots. We were liking that, a bit like Rachel here is matching her wrist support to her black blazer. Really interesting, Rachel. I think we should call Simon Middleton the Tinkerman, because this is the 10th game in a row. This midfield combination is different. What's he thinking?
I think he's trying to find the right combination to unlock that England team. We've seen obviously a number of combinations. This one is tried and tested. But yeah, with the World Cup on the horizon, you want to have players who have the ability to shift from one position to another. And, you know, with Helena Rowland slotting in at 12, gives them the option to have 2 playmakers in that position. She's such a talented individual. Her kind of all-round game, her vision, her ability to go to the line and ride defenders, and you know, but for me, it's the ability to be in a contact situation like here, but still be able to free the ball up because she knows where the space is. And like all good 10s and 12s, they can see space unfolding a phase ahead. And this is what she does here. She turns around, says to Holly, we're going over here, and then really good execution. But here, we've seen they've worked together already, 2 tests with 10 and 12 combination, but just lovely how she has the ability, keeps ball in 2 hand, keeps all the defenders guessing, which makes the defender jump in. And then the way that those 2 are reading one another is going to be really important for today's game.
Yeah, you suspect that Emily Scarrett, who was on the bench today, is going to get some game time in midfield. Now, Maggie, look, the back row, that's another area that he's reshuffled, bringing in Alex Matthews to blindside flanker. Give us, as someone who played in the back row yourself, give us your appreciation of her.
Yeah, do you know what, Sonia? I was actually quite good at back row as well, so I mean, I'm missing out on some talent here. But no, this back row haven't started together before, so it's going to be interesting to see how they get on with each other. But the player that I'm looking forward to seeing, as you've already highlighted, is Alex Matthews. I mean, she was really good in the autumn, and a couple of things I just really want to highlight. What she does in defence. So in the breakdown, she's very smart. So what she does, she slows the ball down, which allows England to get a defence in and have that aggressive press. But also her ability to chase back and make these big tackles. I mean, this is a try-saving tackle. If it wasn't for that tackle, New Zealand definitely would have scored. But also what she does in attack. I mean, look at that line break. She used to play in the outside centre, so has a really good pace. And look, she's playing number 6 there. And number 6 at the moment is probably the most competitive position in the back row. You know, you've got Poppy Clear who can play there. You've got Sarah Hunt who can play there as well, and Zoe Aldcroft as well. So she's got to really put in a big game today.
That's an embarrassment of riches. Now, talking about midfield players, Rachel, tell us about Beatrice Rigoni. How much are you looking forward to watching her?
Yeah, really excited. She's been a huge talent for Italy for a number of years now, and definitely somebody you want to be watching out for. Again, another great matchup up against Helena Rona. But what I love about her is that the way that she can read the game. You know, here she's in defence, but manages to read it and pick off the attack, what they're going to do. But also, she's so strong. I mean, that's a huge collision, but manages to keep the ball alive and moves it. But again, it's just the vision that she has within the game. She creates opportunities for her team time and time again. And she just pulls out some silky skills there as well, just to show off. But also, she's got the kicking game. So she's got it all. She's got the running, the passing and the kicking ability. So she's going to be a player that England needs to watch out for today.
She is. That was a delicious kick, wasn't it? England will have to watch out for Beatrice Rigoni. And actually, Simon Middleton said this week about Italy that England should expect the unexpected. Let's go across to Parma, where we're going to have a pause for a minute's silence. And then after that, you'll hear commentary from another World Cup winner, Katie Daly-McLean and Sarah Orchard.
A very well observed moments of reflection there for Vittorio Ambron, the former Italian wing who passed away this week. Rugby will now make its stand against racism. It will also show its support for Ukraine.
The Italian Rugby Union and the Rugby Football Union stand together in solidarity with Ukraine and its people. We strongly condemn the invasion and our thoughts are those offered by this president. La Federazione Italiana di Rugby Football Union inglese si uniscono in solidarietà con l'Ucraina e il suo popolo. Condanniamo con forza l'invasione dei nostri pensieri, soprattutto con loro che sono stati toccati da questa crisi.
Well, next up we will have the anthems that will of course start with God Save the Queen. Plenty of travelling English support there in the crowd, but now we have the Song of the Italians. Well, a very good afternoon to you all, and with the Stadio Sergio Lanfranchi bathed in sunshine, it is finally time for us to take a look at the lineups. The Italy coach, Andrea Di Giandomenico, has made 2 changes. The forwards, though, remain the same. It's the number 8, Alicia Giordano, who skippers the side, taking the armband from fullback Manuela Forlan, who's actually on the bench today for the home side. The changes come in the backs. 20-year-old Vittoria Ostino Manuzzi, she gets the nod to wear 15, while Colonno's Veronica Madir, she starts at fly half, with Rigoni switching to her more familiar position of 12. As for England, well, just the 11 changes as Simon Middleton continues to rotate his squad. In the forwards, we get to see Harlequin's Shauna Brown at prop, while Worcester's Alex Matthews and Loughborough's Sadia Kabea come into the back row. Moving on into the England backs, the arrival of Lydia Thompson, Sarah McKenna and Zoe Harrison is all there, although the most return and the biggest perhaps return to proceedings is that of Gloucester Hartbury's Natasha Hunt at scrum half. That will fix most of the attention of more regular Red Roses observers. On the benches, on the Italian side, you can see there could be a debut for Vol Sagana prop Francesca Barro. Well, Northern Italy looking sparkling as ever. Time for us to say a very good afternoon to former England fly half Katie Daly-McLean. Who stood out for you there on those team sheets?
Good afternoon. I think for me, you know, you can't go past Rigoni at 12 now. Like you're saying, a more familiar position. She was the standout player against France last weekend. But in that England shirt, I'm fascinated to see how Kabea goes at 7. Molly Packer was man of the match last week, so she's got big shoes to fill. And obviously we can't not mention Mo Hunt in that 9 shirt today.
You can see there just striding across the park. Holly Davidson from Scotland will be taking charge of this one. And she just looks over and has a quiet word there with Zoe Harrison. Harrison was missing last week for England. She'd picked up a little bit of an injury. She said as soon as she'd done it in training, she knew. Slightly nervous scan, but everything okay. Ready for her to come and take on that 10 jersey this week.
Good to go?
Well, Holly Davidson has been given the okay. She does a quick count up of numbers. And the final match in round 2 of the Women's Six Nations is underway as England chase deep down there into that Italian 22. Stefan manages to feed the forwards. Italy had a good result in the Six Nations back in 2019 where they managed to finish 2nd. They've been 4th the last couple of years though as they try and exit down the side, and England no interest at all in a line out. That was a big risky pass. Kabea's there having to tidy things up.
No, I'm happy with the pass.
Hunt.
Was that a knock on though, Gabriel?
Huge collisions already. Confirmation it was a knock on. We'll restart with an Italian scrum.
I think England's shown their intent early doors, like you say. Italy have relieved pressure, good kick by Rigoni, found touch, but actually as soon as Ellie Kildun's got hands on ball, she wants to move away. England are going to want to play with that tempo that they found was really successful for them in the autumn.
Good stability. Yep.
Well, last week, Italy travelled to France, where it was a difficult scoreline for them, finishing 36-6 in favour of the French. Perhaps doesn't actually reflect the amount of time Italy had on the ball or the opportunities they had they couldn't finish.
We need to get this right, okay? Pre-engaged on this side. Keep the space. Stop.
A lot of focus in the front row at the moment, particular on Harlequins' Shauna Brown, who's at tight head for England today. She wasn't involved in the autumns, and the head coach Simon Middleton, he was very open in saying he wanted her to go away and work on her scrum, and that is what she has done.
Bind! Set!
Big penalty for England early on.
Great work by Shauna Brown there, and I think obviously her and Vicky Cornborough, you know, they will have played a lot of club rugby together, but that just a bit of confidence, showing good pictures to Holly Davis and the referee and getting their rewards.
Big touch finder then by Harrison. This was the scrum. You can see Cornborough there just on the near side of the screen. It's a long way out for England to try and maul this the whole way, but there's Abby Ward there, the face that's popped up that took it in the air, just directing proceedings. It's a penalty advantage then to England. Little dink through there from Harrison, didn't quite come off. She still held on to it. Back for the penalty.
Side entry, number 7, on the 15.
Natasha Hunt, they're thinking about going fast.
And she will do that all game. I think for me, like you say, we've started to see a bit of intent about England, what they want to do. You know, England are going to the line out early, gone straight to Abby Ward, starting to get that kind of maul formation set early. Like you say, a long way out, 20 odd metres there. But I wouldn't be surprised if we see a lot more from that.
Lark Davis throws in, vice-captain for England today. This time it's Gallagher who goes up.
She's at the back.
This is strong from England very early. They scored like this against Scotland. That one's down though. Hunt passes out wide, there's no one there, it's McKenna! England score, not even 4 minutes on the clock, well worked, and Sarah McKenna completely unmarked.
5 changing lines. 5, yeah.
What I really enjoyed about that try is obviously not the mauling start to it, but if you look at Sarah McKenna's movement, how late she comes. Originally she started open field, actually she's identified Italy have put nobody on that blind side. She goes really late, she's given Mo Hunt a little call, and it's just a 2v1 on the edge, picking off one of the forwards.
Sarah McKenna, perhaps more seen these days at full back, but happy to do a good job on the wing as well. Simon Middleton endlessly talking about all the different positions he wants his players to be able to take on when it comes to World Cup, depending on numbers. Harrison then with the conversion. Unsuccessful for her on the first occasion, and that will give her confidence.
Huge confidence, you know, ideally as a fly half or a goal kicker, you want that somewhere at the front of the line out, but the touchline. But as we look at this try again, what a great little bit of vision from Mo Hunt, and that's what you're going to get from somebody with her experience, you know, that actually there might have been a set call, she's seen something different. McKenna's worked really hard to get into that, and it is an easy walk-in.
Italy with the restart, they haven't really had any ball yet, it's all been about England. Hunt down the line. Ward is on the ball. Rowland manages to find support on her shoulder in the form of Aitchison. Holly Aitchison was wearing 12 last week. Taken cleanly then in the end by Ostina Minuzzi. But big pressure flying up from England. Was it offside?
Offside, number 11.
Well, the warning there against Sarah McKenna. And this is a really nice platform now for the Italians, and you can just see there the cool customer that is Rigoni straight up ready to go.
Yeah, I think probably a little bit disappointing from England. The referee has tried to communicate just a hole, England haven't, and like we say, Italy now have a line out 5 metres out.
Open the gap.
Nice. Bertoni, who's going to put the ball in, plays a rugby for Rennes in France, and that's just slightly overshot. Cabella, she's doing a lot of tidying up, Cabella, at the moment.
Let it come. Yeah, good.
Probably happier to tidy up Italian mistakes than English ones.
Hold.
Good take in the air by Magatti. Stefan is there, but she's got caught, so there was no scrum half. Pushed back there by Guy. Stefan. Nadir. Bertoni.
First player.
Almost second guessing herself there, Stefan, and gets caught, pushed backwards. Big hits there going in on Tunesi. Big hand there. It's Poppy Cleal who made this opportunity for England. She read that really well at the breakdown. Unfortunately, that's a bit of a mistake there. Ball gone straight out of play, but England did well there to get the ball back.
Yeah, and they really pressured Italy at the breakdown, didn't they? Italy a bit high when they're arriving as their first player. Every opportunity that England are getting to counter-ruck, they're doing, and it's just slow an Italian ball.
Stolen ball by England. Hunt has it. Harrison. Cleal. Rowland. Down the line, eventually goes to Kildan. Here comes the fullback. McKenna comes back inside, looks for the support. Hunt. Harrison. Big hit going in there on Poppy Cleal by Melissa Bertoni.
No.
They really want to slow her down before she builds up any kind of speed. Oh, here comes Matthews. Strong work, good meters made there by the Worcester player, but pushed out to the far side. Is there space for Cornborough? Happy to play out on the wing. Gallagher back inside Harrison. Lovely link play by England. Cabella. Aitchison, Cleal, out the back door, Kildan, McKenna, still McKenna.
Stripped, play on.
Taken then by the Italians, that was made by Sillery. It's Magatti who takes it in.
Advantage.
Well, England managed to hold on to their ball then. We'll restart with a scrum, and there was some lovely handling in there.
There really was, and I think what England are doing really well is the use of their forwards in the middle. You know, they're getting gain line. It's a really positive carry. The speed of ball from Natasha Hunt at breakdown. It's just making it really hard for Italy to get off the line and to be able to put any pressure on there. McKenna stripped in that tackle by Italy, and it is a bit of a let off there.
Feet underneath you. Keep your bind, yes.
Well, the warning's going in there after the last scrum we had that went down. Gaia Maris plays rugby at Valsugana. It's the club that's provided most players to this Italian side.
Bind! Set!
Early engagement from England.
Overleaning, too much weight.
Italy get away with one.
They really do, and I'm not saying scrummaging is my specialty, but Holly Davis...
Why not?
Because there's a 10 hours generally standing behind in it, but I think it feels like that calling is really long. There's a big old delay.
Well, remember, this was a free kick. It wasn't a penalty. So England with ball in play. Still going out there by Thompson, still flying. Handing off Italians as she goes. Gallagher. Rowland. Hunt. Brown. Good soft hands by Brown. Working with her Quinn's teammate there. Kildunn does well there to just get that one back up off the floor and moving again. Italy really trying to swamp the breakdown, but know when to back off. Cleo. Hunt's going to snipe round the corner. She wanted someone on her shoulder. Not the cleanest pass to Rowland. Gallagher. Ward. Aitchison.
Counter-rock's good.
The Italian defence is strong. It's how long they can keep it up for. Could bear with McKenna.
She's regained her feet, play on.
Gallagher.
Onside 8.
Aitchison just standing in that first receiver position. Big pass that way to Cornborough again, who's loving the wing work.
No.
Ward. Oh, nearly passes away, still Cabella. Really strong Premier 15s form at the moment, Cabella. Doing well with Loughborough Lightning as Kildunn has it. Not quite there. Penalty to Italy, holding on the floor. Support not quite there in time. Kildunn on her own, and Italy survive.
What an outstanding beat of defence from Italy there. Multiple phases through England. They've gone edge to edge on them, and that bit of D right there by both Solari and I think is it their back row is absolutely outstanding. You know, great chop tackle, allowed her to get over, hands on the ball, and a really easy decision for the referee to give.
Nellie Kildunn, former Wasps player, now at Harlequins. One of the few players in this lineup from Simon Middleton's England who actually played in the same position last week when they beat Scotland in Edinburgh. England clearly chasing the sunshine wherever they go in this Six Nations. Wasn't like this when you played, was it, Katie?
Generally slowing.
Of course, the Women's Six Nations now played in its spring window as Italy come away with it. Through the hands it goes. Sillery was there waiting. They couldn't quite get that last pass away. Stefan. Lucia Guy has taken on a lot of balls so far. Medea, lovely pass by her. Back to Guy again. This time we see Giordano, captain for the Italians today. Medea. Charge down. Can anyone name on it? That was all Cornborough. A real constant in this Middleton era, and you can see why as it's passed out to the far side. It's Lydia Thompson. Try given and 2 on the board for England.
What great work by Vic Cornborough there. The charge down itself, it's not something she's probably known for, but we've had her hanging out on the edges. She's now in the middle of the field. The work rate from, as Lou said, it's pretty impressive.
Lydia Thompson, that was her 39th try in an England shirt. Veteran of a couple of World Cup campaigns. Although England won the World Cup in 2014, unfortunately she got injured early on, but this was the finish. And
it was great work by Hannah Rowland. You know, we've talked about her running game. It's exactly what she wants. She wants front foot ball, she wants quick ball. She gets a great opportunity just to take the ball on, and when you've got somebody with the class of Lydia on the edge to finish, what more could you need?
See Lydia Thompson at the back there receiving some strapping as Harrison takes this one. Well in front of the face of the goal there, so she's 1 from 2 with the boot. We saw a little bit of Zoe Harrison early on there at the beginning of the programme, Katie. What kind of a character is she?
I think Zoe's got the perfect makeup of a fly half. You know, she wants to lead. She's got a good charisma. She's articulate, but she won't kind of be bossed around, and that's what you need from all of your good 10s.
It's Aitchison who sends it down the field, and that has made a lovely bit of distance, and the bounce has been very kind, and what a great bit of territory for England as they approach the Italian lineup.
Yeah, and absolutely ferocious kickers and that. When you restart the game, you want to kind of have that battle around halfway when you get a kick return. That's put Italy, what, just on their 10, I think, just inside their 10, which is a great return from England. They can now go to work again and really squeeze this Italian pack.
Well, it's not the line-out perhaps Italy wanted, but they've still got it. Rigoni. Simon Middleton describes the Italian kicking game as unorthodox. You might pick up on that the more kicks that you see as Kildun goes through. A little bit of a hit there to Tornesi.
No, you're good. We're going to restart with the white scrum, but...
Yeah, the woman holding onto the side of her head there, Sara Tornesi. A full Six Nations campaign. I think she's all right. Just took a little bit of a hit to the chops there.
For them, they're still in possession.
Of course, this was the ground where Italy actually qualified for the World Cup just last September. Stadio Sergio Lanfranchi. A happy hunting ground.
I'm happy, yeah.
It was a very tight European qualifying tournament, and it was Italy who finished out on top. And that's just where Giordano just got that slight knock.
Between bind and set, yeah? You good? Yeah. Okay. Crouch! Bind! Set!
Well, certainly no early movement there from England. Comes away through Hunt, Harrison, Aitchison. Big pass to the try scorer, Thompson. The Worcester Flyer places back. Harrison. Harrison once again, Brown. She's a very strong carrier, Brown. She'll be looking to get her hands on the ball in the loose as much as she can. McKenna.
Off feet now. Off feet, you're on your knees.
Well, the warning there to the Italians. And a chance for England, no doubt, to set up another lineup.
She just got it a bit wrong. Let's get her up. That's you.
It's interesting, we haven't heard too much there from the referee, with Poppy Clear quite being in her ear yet. Of course, it's Poppy Clear who's the captain today for England. That one not straight, so Italy with the decision.
Yeah, and I think probably that, as Poppy develops as a captain, it's going to be a time and a place. At the moment, you know, England have got a lot of momentum, they're getting a lot of decisions. There probably isn't any need from Poppy to start getting in the referee's ear. I think it's probably, as the game potentially shifts and momentum changes, that's when you need your captain to really start to understand what's happening and what's changing.
Well, that was the not straight at the line out. You could see Rosie Gallagher there just leaning in the wrong direction to paint the right picture for the referee.
Crouch! Bind! Set!
Oh, England, they fancy this. Their set piece much improved under Lewis Deacon since he has come in.
Just a scrum.
It's going to be an England scrum.
All good your side, Gabriel. Yeah, okay.
Holly Davison saying that Italy actually knocked on the ball there, and that's why we'll restart with England though. But it does seem to be quite a significant difference there since Lewis Deacon has come in.
Yeah, and I think that's something that's really important to England, and especially how Simon coaches and wants his team to play. Set pieces instrumental in that. We want to have a good line out and a strong scrum. And like you say, we're really seeing kind of the influence Lewis Deacon has had over the past 6-9 months now.
Receivers. Okay. Yeah.
See some of the more established names there in the Italian setup. Bertoni there.
You okay?
He's actually a PE teacher. Can play a bit of prop as well if required. The Italians, they are not professional like England. And you can see there from those stats, that's not a lot of territory in possession for the Italians. It's all been about England so far.
I think though on a positive, if you're an Italian fan, to have only had 30%, England to have had 70% possession, but have only scored 12 points, is a good place for Italy to be after 20 minutes of this game.
Bind. Set.
Penalty for England.
Number 3 collapse.
The warning then against Lucia Guy.
Yeah, to knee.
Not quite able to handle Vicky Cornborough at the moment. Straight away, kick for the corner.
Okay,
And England with another opportunity to try and get this line out right. So here they come. Quite the machine, these forwards. That's going well. Lark Davis has it. That's over. Grounded. A third try for England, scored by Lark Davis, her 12th in an England shirt. And Italy have got to find some answer to this rolling England machine.
Which colour?
It's everything that we know England are about, that drive and more, like we touched on. That is, for me, is Lewis Deacon. That's what that man is about. He's come in to do. He's set up a really good structure. Abby Ward's driving that maul, and Lark Davis is basically just a passenger at the back. Ball in good position. As soon as the other line, she's able to drop over it. But I think when we talk about the difference in this England side to maybe previous Six Nations, the set piece has been huge and will continue to be instrumental.
Possibly the more straightforward kick of the afternoon that Zoe Harrison has had, and that one to the left-hand side as well. And as much as it looks like England are in a commanding lead right now, these kicks is what could ultimately make the difference when it comes to big games at a World Cup.
Yeah, and Zoe will be frustrated with that. Like you said, she's had 2 pretty difficult ones from touchlines. The first one which she got, that one probably just come out of it a little bit early after not being happy with her strike on that second kick. So I'm sure we'll see her get many more in this afternoon. But if we look back to Italy need to exit their 22. They need to get some territory in this game.
Stay. Good.
Ward. England have already carried over 300 metres with the ball in hand so far in this fixture. That's heavy work in that Italian sunshine.
Stripped, play on.
Luckily, they were a little bit used to the sunshine in Edinburgh as that gets knocked on by Rugone.
I felt the strip was good.
It's interesting with Italy because they look so strong flowing forward against the French just last week, and they just can't hold on to their ball this week.
And I think that's the thing that, for me, it kills Italy at times. You know, they've got a load of flair, they've got some really talented players. Great turnover there that we've just seen, but then the next moment is just a loose pass and England end up with a scrum again. And for me, if Italy can just cut out those unforced errors, I think we'll see a different side.
Foster Hartbury's Natasha Hunt there, just making sure that she got the correct message.
Crouch! Bind!
Alex Matthews there, just on the side of that scrum.
Set!
Penalty straight away, and Hunt is off. Hunt.
No, I'm happy because
Harrison.
5 from the scrum.
Aitchison. Kildun. They're trying to hold her up on that far side. Sillery and Ostuno Minuzzi. Eventually England get it moving.
Ball is out, play on.
Oh, Hunt was caught there. Strong work by Italy. I see Natasha Hunt just smiling at the bottom of that ruck. That's what Simon Middleton wants. Natasha Hunt playing with a smile on her face. That's a poor take from Italy. Brown. Harrison. Not able to be taken cleanly there by Davis. Box kick in the end by Stefan. Well worked by McKenna. She knew exactly there where Rigoni was.
Yes, use it.
Harrison. Good work by Matthews. Kildun straightens. Still Kildun. Ward. Almost every England player that touches the ball getting over the gain line. Thompson. Still Lydia Thompson. Ward. Cornborough. All action Cornborough at the moment. Italy going over the top. And it was being held. Italy get the penalty.
Again, what a great bit of Italian defence. You know, England, like you say, the momentum of which England are playing with, they're winning every carry. They're leaving Italian tacklers, generally 2 on the floor, past the ball. But again, these moments are the ones that England need to capitalise on. You can't have such great approach play if you then end up penalty and you end up having to start again from not a great kick in that situation.
Yep, thanks,
Rigoni will be so frustrated with that effort. Haven't quite turned up yet today, the Italians.
No, she's nowhere near the breakdown.
Well, there you go. Rigoni trying to make up for that last kick, flying in there on Zoe Harrison.
Advantage.
It's a penalty advantage to England.
Number 5.
The warning there against Giordano Duca.
Here.
Hunt unable to go quickly.
Not rolling. 5.
Interesting that last breakdown, Katie, because depending on which angle you looked at it, it could have been holding from England as well.
Yeah,
I think if that Italian tackler had cleared that the tackle area there, 100% that was going to be another hold on penalty. And you've just seen Mo there, for those of you that can look read, saying that we've got to be better with our ball presentation.
When you hear the word
Just
Mo,
on the tee, girl.
it's also Natasha Hunt.
Yeah, sorry.
Most of the England team call her Mo. As you see there, look at the carries from England, 41, and look at those metres made, the offloading, and here comes Matthews, they want more. Next try would be a bonus point, of course, and bonus points could mean prizes come the end of this Six Nations. Ward, Cabea. Galligan to Brown, still Brown, she's over, can she ground? Yes! A bonus point try scored by Harlequins prop Shauna Brown. And if you're Italian, I'd start worrying about that scoreline.
2 receivers.
Yeah, I mean, it all came from
with
Italy
the
not
numbers,
being
one
able
in
to
the
exit
gap
their
or
own
through the
22. You think Rigoni misses that kick, they get another
want to speak to them
opportunity.
now?
But when England forwards go to work, you know, especially the likes of Shauna Brown, Vic Cornborough, Abby Ward, you know that they're going to be pretty close to that try line, and it's great to see. Like we touched on at the beginning, Shauna Brown hasn't been in England shirt in a long time, and you want to see her go well. She's gone away, she's worked hard. First scrum penalty goes to her, and then she gets a lovely try as well to top that off. So it's going a good afternoon for her so far.
Thank you.
Flash white boots there of Zoe Harrison doing the job there. 2 from 4. She comes from a real rugby family, Zoe Harrison. Her dad actually played for Wales Schools. Her brother was involved in the Wasps setup. She's the one with the England caps there.
And I'm sure she'll let everybody know about it as well.
Shauna Brown, also a qualified firefighter with Kent Fire Service. Currently a professional rugby player, though. Something that's important to so many of the women involved, that they have a career to go back to. Box kick then across the field there by Stefan. Interesting.
It was, but Italy are known for that. We know they have a very different approach to the kicking game, whereas England are very long and territorial or to regather. Italy are much more random in that.
Straight through the guts of the park comes Sadia Cabella. Harrison.
Hold one, wait.
Taken nicely out on that far side. Stefan, Madir. They just forced the forwards there. Both Maris and Bertoni were there. Almost trying to do too much, the Italians. They need to make it simple.
Not on ball.
Locatelli. Sillery. Madia, Bertoni. Bigoni. Mizzo there did well not to get tracked out on that far side. Madeira again.
And away.
Madeira, good support on her shoulder. Uses it well. Soft hands come in the end by Magatti, but not to be. Hunt wants to take it quickly. And England straight away back into the action.
No, you're off the feet now. No.
There was a foot in there. Holly Davidson, our referee, happy to let play continue.
Sorry, no. Hold.
Zoe Harrison, crossfield kick, forcing their Sillery to turn and gather. McKenna chasing up in her face, as is Kildan and Aitchison. Had to be a forward, and Abby Ward who arrived to sort things out, but she got herself in a real tricky position as she landed on the floor there.
Yeah, I think at the moment Italy aren't helping themselves. Every kick return or when they're getting turn of a ball, they're ending up in the middle of the field, which is really difficult for them to get any shape from. When they're playing to an edge, like we've seen in them earlier phases, it's making it much easier for their 10s and their forwards just to find a little bit more shape and to start to play some of the ball.
Well, Beatrice Rigoni, who just kicked out the ball on that far side. She was actually playing fly half last week, which surprised a lot of people. It allowed Elisa Dinka to play at 12. You really raised a lot of eyebrows because she was very impressive. High tackle rate numbers there from Italy. That's how much time they're spending defending at the moment. Bertoni. Oh, nothing's going their way. Cleo, Cabella.
Off feet.
Penalty advantage as well to England now. Thompson.
Still got advantage.
Brown. Cleo. She was trying to do, she's done that out the back pass a couple of times.
13. Thank you. 13 off feet.
Well, the warning there against Michaela Sillery. Needs to keep those feet on the floor.
I think the other thing that Italy have to be careful of at the moment is where their tacklers finishing. Because England are getting so much momentum, the tacklers ending up in the breakdown where Natasha Hunt wants to move the ball. And I think, for me, we want the referees to clear that tackle area. At the moment, Italy have been really lucky that Holly Davidson hasn't done anything different about that.
We're just seeing there the Sarah McKenna dot down there. Feels like quite a long time ago that she got that try. It was just 3 minutes in. England going to be camped down in that corner once again. Italy have never actually beaten England in all the times they've met with each other. They have come within single digits before, but it's pretty much been a Red Roses show the whole time. The question marks over Italy is if they actually get to play enough test rugby on a regular basis. They had that European campaign to qualify for the World Cup in the autumn, which gave them test time, but of all the sides playing in the Six Nations, they are the ones who haven't had any rugby since.
And it's tough, isn't it? As the international game moves on and teams get better, the only way that happens is by playing. So these girls, yes, they're playing club rugby, but ultimately there's kind of no replacement for international test experience.
And as much as Italian club rugby has started again, it really was impacted by the pandemic. A lot of credit has gone the way to the Rugby Football Union in England for keeping the Women's Premier 15s going throughout that period as Poppy Cleal peels round. Matthews. Helena Rowland. Hunt. Far side, nice, back inside to McKenna, off her wing, busy. Ward. Clear. Hunt, Gallagher. Back towards the middle. There's Davis. Spun out once again. Gallagher sniffing the line.
Onside.
Matthews, she's a strong woman and she's a scoring woman. 5 tries now for England. They scored 6 in the first half against Scotland. They could be on course to do the same.
You know, Alex Matthews is known for this, her carry ability, but what I really enjoy is how low she gets. You watch that initial carry, there's no opportunity for anybody to get underneath it from an Italian perspective. And then she gets a little bit of a nudge from, I think, Shauna Brown and Cabea, and they just give her that power over the line, but it is her starting height that makes that so difficult for Italy to defend.
Thanks, Eric.
That was Matthews' 5th carry that she managed to get over and get that one. Three from 5 with the boot now for Zoe Harrison, as England have now gone over the 30-point mark. They're desperately trying to keep up with the clock at the moment. And it says a lot for Simon Middleton, the riches that he has, particularly in the back 5 of the pack, to have a player like Alex Matthews as well. Such fierce competition there's going to be for him to select a squad for that World Cup. Particularly if he is going to be limited to around 30 players. There's going to be some really big, significant players left at home.
Okay, no problem.
There really is, and there's some massive battles, like we've talked about that back row. I think we earlier named around 10 players in the mix from that back 3 combination. There's players again, we haven't seen the likes of Jess Breach feature yet. So I think, like we've talked about, if you're probably hoping that there's going to be a bigger squad.
Well, a little bit of chopping and changing here going on for Italy. You can see on your screen they're coming on Vicini. It looks like Bertoni has had to come off. And Melissa Bertoni will be a big loss. 66 caps to her name. Italy need all the experience they get. Vicini only on her 5th cap today.
Front hold. Hold. Yeah. Oh no.
Big take in the air there by Ostuna Manuzzi.
No, this winger later on. Yep, ball's out.
Stefan. Popped off out towards the far side again. Perhaps one pass too many there for the Italians. They lose ground as a result.
It's back. It's back. Back you go.
Warning against Cabea there. Tornesi.
Off feet, no 5, leave it.
Medea pops off to the new woman on the field, Vicini.
She can hook, she can hook.
You can hear just Holly Davidson doing a little bit of coaching almost as she goes along. Nice of the referee to help out. Good meters made by Zoe Harrison in that last passage. Cleo. Hunt. Rowland. Quamba on the floor. Matthews to Brown. The Italian player there that was lying on the wrong side, not getting in the way, so happy for play to carry on through Thompson. Well, it looks like Italy just managed to scrag Natasha Hunt there.
As soon as you lift that ball, you're good to be tackled.
She will not be happy about that from her England forwards. No doubt Natasha will be getting stuck into them now. The fact that referee is happy that once the ball's lifted, but I think probably from Natasha's perspective, she will want a nicer platform to be able to move that ball from.
How weird is it to call her Natasha?
So weird. I had to concentrate as well.
There she was, just getting caught there around the ankles. Natasha Hunt's spoken a lot about rejoining the England setup, how strange it's been, how Simon Middleton wants her to come in, just enjoy her rugby, not be a leader. She said she didn't speak in a meeting for a long time, but Middleton did reassure us she has spoken up this week.
Yeah, and I think it's really good for Natasha, you know. I think, like we've talked about it, there was a lot of pressure on her, and we see the best of her when she's just enjoying her rugby and she's able to play with a smile, and that's ultimately what England want, the best players playing at their best.
Taken quickly off the base there by Giordano. Nice take here, this is what they wanted to see. Rigoni, she's going to go straight into Kildun, gets the pass to Stefan. Back on their feet, wanting more. The best attacking play we've seen. Slow ball, but held. Muzzo. Medea waits. Goes for the crossfield kick. McKenna calls the mark straight away. And the Italian threat passes.
Stay onside. Was she onside? Was she 10?
And straight away, Italy not 10. From absolute magic to heads down in the space of 10 seconds.
But I mean, if we go back to that initial break, it's that girl we talked about at the beginning, Beatrice Rigoni in the forefront of it. You know, it's a lovely little tip. It's a great line. She's nice and flat. She's aggressive at England's defensive line. And then once they're in behind, but I just think you just want them to take a breath. You want them just to have a little bit of composure and see if they can build an opportunity at that point.
Well, that is the half. It's all been about England. 5 tries to their name. Italy, at the moment, yet to make a mark on the scoreboard. Half-time, Italy 0, England 31.
Well, the Red Roses simply picking up where they left off against Scotland. That bonus point chalked up before half-time in Parma. Italy making some big old tackles, actually, and doing well to force turnovers, but it's certainly been one-way traffic for the Red Roses. 5 first-half tries. The result really not in doubt, is it? But it's all about the margin of victory now, I would suggest. And actually watching the game with these two is wonderfully educational, because you're thinking, well, yeah, England, they're doing really well. They've scored 5 tries, they're leading 31-0. But, Maggie, you're actually thinking areas where they could do better, right?
Yeah, by England's standards, I'd probably say it's not been their most clinical of games. Yeah, 5 tries, they got their bonus try on the 27th minute, but there have been missed opportunities. So Zoe Harrison missed a couple of conversions. There was a line out in there in the opposition 22, again, it was overthrown. So England will probably at half-time be saying, what things do we need to smarten up on? But look, you can't take away from Italy. They have done some good stuff, but I just feel for me, England have got plenty more to do in the second half.
Yeah, it's to England's credit that actually but the prism through which we now look at them is one that the standard they've set, and they've slipped from that. You go, well, what's happening? But Rachel, they got off to a really good start. We flagged up Natasha Hunt before the start of the game, coming in at scrum half, and she made an instant impact, didn't she?
Yeah, she did. Straight from the off, you know, she's already bossing the forwards around like she does. But, yeah, just her vision and the impact from the game. You know, that first try all came from her vision. England are a well-oiled set-piece machine. You know, they go to the driving more, but just watch Natasha here as she comes in. She keeps her head up and looking to where the Italian defenders are, and she just starts to think. She has a little look up, knows that they've got momentum, but can see it starts to break away. But just before that, she's actually signalling to get Sarah McKenna back round to that short side because she knows that Italy haven't put any defenders over there, and a one-on-one, Sarah McKenna's going to be able to defeat the prop there. And
can I also add to that? I mean, look, McKenna, well done to keeping that shape, because it's so easy in a situation like that to get sucked in, but she stays on the touchline, gives, you know, Natasha Hunt the option, and what a beautiful try to kick off the first half.
Yeah, a message to any kids watching, don't watch the ball, watch where's the space. Second try, came fairly quickly afterwards, didn't it? Vicky Cornborough doing a mighty fine impression of a winger, actually, with a charge down. Led to a score for Lydia Thompson, Maggie.
Yeah, Vicky Cornborough almost reminds me of Ellis Genge. You know, she plays like a back almost. But watch her line here. She comes down, puts pressure on a really good kick from the outside. So she closed down the kick. And her reaction to get on the ball, which is also very impressive. But England was very smart here. So that quick recycle, good pass there by Rowland. And again, Thompson doing enough just to keep that distance and that shape. But it shows you what England can do. They can run through the middle, they can put pressure on at the breakdown, but they can also play with width.
And Rachel, you mentioned England being a well-oiled machine at the set piece. We saw that line-out at the very beginning. It was another line-out they took advantage of for the third score, wasn't it?
Yeah, they're really confident in that area to go to the corner and to really squeeze Italy in that position. And look, Lewis Deacon's been absolutely pivotal to how well this pack works, and with Abby Ward and Rosie Gallagher, who slipped in really well there. Lark Davis has been outstanding, and it comes from the throw first, and she nails that every single time. And you know, Natasha Hunt again, just probably ordering the players what to do, keep working, keep leg driving, knowing that they've got the power to get over.
Yeah, so strong in that area, aren't they, England? Now, Shauna Brown, she came into this team for her first appearance in this Six Nations Championship at tight head prop. Sarah mentioned in commentary, didn't she, that had a bit of a point to prove. She's had a good first half, hasn't she?
She really has. I think all props, you know, they look at their set piece first, and England have had a really good day at the scrum. But here, we know what Shauna's like around the breakdown. She's such a strong carrier. But just the work rate to continue to work and get back up and be another option. And you know, she finishes the try here, but the work's not done. She's got plenty to do. She's got 3 defenders all coming over her, but look at her leg drive through the contact, doesn't give up the fight, and manages just to dot it down over the top.
And she's become a bit of a poster girl for women's rugby, hasn't she? She's got a film out, you know. I mean, not everyone's got one of them. But again, it's her ability to still stay into this game and show what she's capable of doing, because Sarah Byrne is another player who we know what she can do. So it's pleased to see Brown perform really well.
Yeah, no woman, no try. Check that out on social media, because Shauna Brown is the face of that. Now, look, Maggie, fair play to you. You flagged up Alex Matthews before the start of the game, and Alex Matthews provided, didn't she?
Yeah, if you ever want any betting tips, come to me, I'll sort you out. So we talked about Alex Matthews at the start of the game, about what she does in terms of carries. You know, she's also physically strong in the contact, and here she's just setting up, waiting for the opportunity, calling players to get on her as well. So Kabea comes in to get the effective drive. But, you know, when it comes to Matthews, she's 5 metres out, she's never going to be stopped. And Kate Daly-McLean mentioned in commentary, that leg drive, that power to stay in that fight as well. I'm really pleased she had a good first half. I'm really hoping she has a better second half, because, again, if I'm talking about her, I want her to perform well.
Now, it's going to sound a bit mad if I say, actually, Italy have done not too bad, considering they've conceded 5 tries, but their defence has been... They've put some resistance up, haven't they?
Yeah, Italy have been very good at the breakdown. I mean, when it comes to turnovers at the breakdown, they've really been quite specific and targeted it well. So here, there's a big tackle that comes in, but Soleri comes in, spots the opportunity, goes for the steal straight away. Italy have made 4 turnovers at the breakdown because England aren't getting their players in. They're not being almost urgent, and Italy are spotting that opportunity. They're also stealing the ball from the contact. You know, when you're running into contact, 2 hands on the ball, stay strong and win the contact. Don't focus about what you're going to do with the ball. And I think, unfortunately, there, England have given away possession. But again, it's that ability by Italy to spot the opportunity to go for that ball. They've got to be careful, though, because there are times, sometimes they give away far too many penalties. But I'm really enjoying what Italy are doing now. They're trying to put pressure on England. And it's that unpredictability is what they bring to their defence. They're not quite sure what they're going to do. They might fly out, they might stay in, but they've got to try and do it again in the second half.
They have, because England lead by 31 points to 0. We will be back for the second half in Parma, but plenty of colour and atmosphere as round 2 kicked off yesterday, with France hosting Ireland over in Toulouse. And then a week after their first foray into the world of professionalism, which bore fruit in Dublin, Wales were at it again.
Stay right on me.
Lana Skeldon gets the ball in cleanly, taken by Sarah Bonner, returning to the starting lineup after having to miss last week. Strong from Scotland, the ball's still moving. It's Skeldon who's got it, that's got legs. It's over! Skeldon scores! The Arms Park is in full voice, wheeling Wales over the line.
Advantage offside, number 2.
Nearly there. They think they've got over. Wales score! They're going to try something here. It goes up to Lloyd! Try, give it to Lloyd!
Happy she's inside.
Maxwell pushes out wide. Lloyd, try! Jones again, still Jones going. Hannah Jones!
Back first, back!
It's slow ball for Wales.
Advantage.
It's heading in the right direction. It's over.
Maul!
This is looking strong from the Welsh. Kelsey Jones has it, it's moving, still got legs, Jones, try! Here comes Butchers, she's got gas outsider in Lewis, here comes Fionn Lewis! Score! Concord drops it!
Turnovers.
It's been knocked on by Scotland. Wales need to make it sure. What a fight back. Wales get their first home Six Nations win in 3 years in front of the record crowd.
Penalty advantage being played to France. Sansus has to get around the referee first to get going. Then Drouin, then Philippon, then Boulard. Boulard out to the left. Laurence to finish in the corner. Penalty advantage already. Ball does squirt out. Sansus fancies a little snipe into the corner, and it's France's second try. It's still going forwards for France. There's the line. Fowler's gone for it.
Short. It's available there.
It can be played away. Sansus is complaining. The Irish are trying to scramble onto it.
It's a try.
Officials team seem happy enough that there's been a grounding.
She's going for the ball for me.
Sansus then. Missed pass for Vernier. Vernier on for Ménager. Then Banet. She was held in the tackle initially, but still fighting her way forward. Cyrielle Banet. Strength as well as speed. France getting close to the line as well. Joyeux, if she managed to get that down.
It's up, that's down there for me.
Try awarded. France get their fourth. They notch up the bonus point. Banet now just lurking on the touchline, no longer behind the scrum. Ménager. They've got another penalty advantage, so Sansus will strike. Sansus will score. Riley. Away for Cronin. Composure, the order of the day here. Flood drew the pass, gets it away for Higgins. Eve Higgins will score Ireland's try, and it's fully deserving. Chambon, Vernier, it must be on for France. It will be Emily Boulard. They beat Ireland by 40 points to 5.
Yeah, dominant win for France. Remember, BBC, the home of the women's TikTok Six Nations. You can watch it in various ways. We'll be back next week for round 3. And there's a standout game there, really, because as we expect England to win this weekend, Wales are already 2 from 2. So those two will go head-to-head at Kingsholm in Gloucester, so join us for that one. And don't forget, BBC Sounds, the Rugby Union Weekly. Our commentary duo today will be back on there via your usual podcast providers with all the reflections from round 2 of this championship. Now, Maggie, that's back-to-back wins in the Six Nations for Wales for the first time since 2015. That's quite a feather in the cap for them. Are we seeing the immediate bounce from the professional contracts that have been on offer to them?
I would probably say at the moment, not yet. I mean, the professional contracts will definitely give them confidence. It will allow them to be the athletes that they should be in terms of having the right recovery, the right support in terms of physical training as well as medical support. But I think we'll start to see the fruition of that come later on. But at the moment, Wales are playing with confidence. They go back to back in terms of their wins. I'm calling them now the comeback queens. I mean, to come back against Ireland in the first round, which was impressive, and they were 10-19 down, and then to come back again against Scotland and they were 14-7 down, and also at one point they were playing with 14 players and they still scored a try. But Wales have got a very good bench. I mean, Harris comes on, she scores a try, then gets player of the match and only plays about 30 minutes. So I'm really excited by what Wales can do, and obviously the professional contracts really making a difference.
And Rachel, they had a record crowd at the Arms Park for a standalone women's game. It was a cracking contest, drama right till the end. What did you make of that overall occasion?
I think it's fantastic, the fact that they made a record crowd going down to Adams Park, and the game, the spectacle, it delivered. It was right to the wire. Scotland will be so disappointed because they had the opportunity to win that game. They'll be looking back and thinking, how did we throw that away? But yeah, as Maggie said, the way that Wales are coming back at the moment, the only thing I'd think they'd be saying in their camp at the moment is, let's look at starting strong and starting well, so we don't have to leave too much to.
It's funny actually, because their men's team traditionally have started slowly as well. So maybe it's a thing in Wales. I don't know. Yeah, but they'll need to cut that out. And France, look, they were way too strong for Ireland. I think we all knew they would be. What did they impress you with, Maggie?
I think mainly their pack. They had a brilliant scrum. They were ruthless, and I only see them kick on. But Sansu's brilliant. She got player of the match, and just very excited to see what they do.
Yeah, well, let's see what Italy can do in this second half in Parma, because they trail 31-0. As I mentioned before, it's not about the result now, it's about the margin. So let's go back to our commentators, Katie Daly-McLean and first Sarah Orchard.
Thanks, Sonia. Plenty of England fans there making their voices heard. A lot of the friends and families of the Red Roses have made the journey to northern Italy, enjoying that sunshine. Perhaps a little bit chilly there in the shade, but we've seen plenty of shirt sleeves rolled out on the other side. Just perusing those stats at half-time. Meters made by Italy just over 200. England over 650. Absolute meter monsters, the Red Roses. Northern Italy, the hosting venue for this one, as the Red Roses look to try and make early inroads.
I just have knock on, Eric.
Davis.
Thank you.
Matt Davis, vice-captain for the Red Roses today. Loughborough Lightning hooker did spend a bit of time at Worcester. Look at those quick hands. Thompson just trying to wind through the gears there.
Tackle!
Hunt, Cornborough.
Off feet.
Harrison. Brown. Big hands off by Brown. That's her trademark. Just trying to find a way into that Italian 22 at the moment. The blue wall of Italian shirts just trying to hold their ground.
And away blue.
Fascinating to know what Andrea Di Giandomenico actually said to them at half-time, because it's still England. Here comes Thompson. She's rattled through there. That's a brace for Thompson. And 6 tries now for England.
And that's what we wanted to see in the opening start of this second half. First half was a bit slow, but what a lovely ball from Sarah McKenna. That delay on the pass just to let the Italian defender bite and come forward. She goes into the seam and just puts a really lovely flat pass, and you're not going to stop Lydia Thompson from 10, 12 metres out.
Yeah, Lydia Thompson, her 51st cap today. Interesting how both her and Sarah McKenna, certainly the more experienced players in that back lineup, really shoring things up. Have been very assured on the ball. As we've got a change of kicker now. It's Helena Rowland's turn.
Be interesting to see as well from this is whether this was always pre-planned, whether like Zoe's not kicked badly, whether it was just a case of obviously having both on the pitch, you have an opportunity to do this.
Well, not the first kick that Helena Rowland would have wanted.
6.
That was the finish there by Thompson. As you say there, Katie, interesting that we've got a change of kicker. And we touched on it in the first half, the importance. And it's something that when Gary Street was the England head coach, he really started off in making sure that as many of his England women could kick as possible.
Yeah, it's huge, and I think all we've seen is the growth of that in the women's game. You know, you look at that England backline now, the majority of that backline can click and can kick very confidently, and that's what you want when you're under pressure, players that have a run, pass, kick game.
Yeah, good.
We just saw there an Italian player down. We'll get confirmation of any Italian changes as they happen. Rowland stood there in that first receiver position. See there, Vicky Fleetwood is on now, Sadia Kabir is off. If we get any information through from the England camp about changes, we will let you know. Brown.
Okay. Advantage.
Penalty then to England.
Number 8.
High from the Italians, warning there against Giordano.
I thought Sadia Kabir had a very good 40 minutes as well. I know we talked about Marley Packer last weekend in that hat-trick of tries, but I think, you know, you really want to have an abundance of sevens in that group, because that's what England have been short of. But Kabir went well, and now it's a great opportunity to see Vicky Fleetwood come and have some international minutes.
Put them on the line.
Well, that was Zoe Harrison just taking the ball into that contact before. Slightly high. Harrison, Rowland. Harrison again, she was really flat to the line there. Anyone's ball, it's Magatti who got there.
No ball. Yeah.
Another England penalty.
Tackle without the ball.
And Italy do have to be careful here. Although they're on the wrong side of the scoreline, that doesn't mean they're not going to get a card.
No, and it's certainly what Italy definitely don't need. I think what is more pleasing from an Italy perspective is that they're getting more success with their defensive line speed, especially when England are coming on that second phase. Apparently maybe a little bit harsh there. Holly Aitchison wasn't really touched.
Ward then takes in the air. Abby Ward there of the Bristol Bears, the real line-out leader for England. Interesting how Harlequins' Rosie Gallagher has come in, and she's really put a hand up there. Said she's happy to lead the line-out if required.
Okay, once.
Warning there for Hunt to use it. Aitchison running back towards the support. Fleetwood, Matthews, Cleal. Harrison, Rowland, back inside, McKenna.
Advantage.
Another penalty advantage here.
11 not rolling.
Davis.
Tackle, release.
Zoe Harrison with a little dink through, pushed back by the Italians. It's still going to be England's advantage as it's pushed out into the wide channels. Matthews waiting. Cleo, well tackled there by Tornesi. Some huge tackles coming in there by the Italian forwards, but Holly Davidson has eventually seen enough, brings it back. Keep an eye on Mo Hunt there.
Okay, that's fine, it's their penalty. 11 not rolling.
Well, we're keeping an eye on Poppy Cleal at the moment. Looks like she took a bit of a knock there. She's still down on the ground, and she's holding on to her leg. And you have to say, it is very rare to see Poppy Cleal stay down like that.
And that's the thing. Sometimes in a team sport like rugby, you have players that sometimes maybe stay down for slightly longer and you give them a bit of a minute. But when somebody like Pop stays down, especially for the period of time, yeah, you would be a little bit concerned. I think it came from that chop tackle that you were talking about from Tornesi, where she really got out the line and just hit Poppy low. So hopefully it's just a dead leg.
Well, there'll be a lot of Red Roses fans who'll be concerned. Any injuries at the moment, they'll be looking at the timeline in the build-up to the World Cup. And you can see Sarah Hunter just at the bottom of your screen there, starting to warm up, run up and down. I mean, 15 carries, and we're on 47 minutes from Poppy Cleal. That's stunning.
And the thing that I think Poppy doesn't get enough credit for is the carries that she makes. She doesn't make these carries in big open space. Generally, it's always in that tight, hard yard area. It's coming into your guards and bodyguards really tight around that breakdown. So actually, these carries are big attritional carries.
There you go, that was the moment there. I mean, it was a lovely low tackle there by Giordano.
And it's what Italy need to do more of for me, you know, that just stops momentum. She stopped Poppy dead, and we know she's been one of England's best carriers.
Well, you can see there from the body language of Poppy Cleal, it's not looking perhaps as serious as it first did. A little bit more magic tape perhaps is required. They're not going to get out the magic spray as we just wait there. And the question is here, Katie Daly-McLean, is it a risk leaving Poppy Cleal on if she is injured there when you've got someone like Sarah Hunter waiting?
The likelihood is, if the medics are happy that this is just kind of a bit of a soft tissue issue, they're not going to risk Poppy at this point, especially like we say, the score's 36-0. She's had a really solid game. Maybe give her 5-6 more minutes and then I would have thought we'll see Sarah Hunter anyway. Possibly Poppy was just a bit tired, to be fair.
Can't wait to hear Poppy Cleal's version of events when we do get to it, but that leg injury doesn't seem to be causing her any problems as she walks along. It was actually strapping to her knee that she received there. We come back for the penalty, which seems like a long time ago now. Italy not rolling away at the breakdown.
And I think when we touched on that kicking part, I think that swap has been deliberate. You know, Helena's now kicking to line as well, so just an opportunity for England to see something different.
Good. Maul.
Goes in then. Matthews takes it. Classic England move this. That's collapsed though. That can't go over. Round the corner from Davis. That's short.
Okay.
They need a scrum half. No one's there. Brown.
Offside.
Railway by the Italians. Needs to come backwards. Hunt. Popped off ball out wide. Cleal. And he's not causing her any problems at the moment. It looks like it's been held up. It was Ward that tried to go, but they're going to come back for an Italy offside.
Like we've touched on, I think Italy are living on borrowed time here. This has been multiple penalties in red zone. And for me, I think we're looking at Holly Davidson maybe at least talking to the Italian captain at this point. As of yet, she hasn't done so.
I didn't see it.
Well, England have got replacements that they are ready and raring to come on, but not at this juncture. This time they go long to the back to Galligan. That's spun round quickly, looking better. Touchdown, Vicky Fleetwood. Try. Italy have absolutely
no idea at the moment how to stop this big white machine that is just rolling at them continually.
And I think it's how quickly England form. As soon as that ball's on the ground, everybody's in a good body position, the ball's already moving forward. And as we see on your screen, Italy are just being left behind. Some of their players haven't even engaged in that. And when you've got a pack as dominant as England, you need everybody in behind to try and stop that.
Vicky Fleetwood there. She's always been regarded as one of the best trainers for England. If you speak to any of the England team, you say, who's the fittest player? They always say Vicky Fleetwood. She's had some terrible injuries that have really sort of held her back in recent years. She actually played hooker in the 2014 World Cup final. Found more often now in the back row. Although, again, a useful player to have around because she still has that skill.
Yeah, fascinating. You think if somebody like Lark Davies ends up got a yellow for any reason, with Fleetwood on the field, you've got a great replacement for somebody to come and throw. So I think a skill set makes her really valuable to this pack.
All right there on the edge. Comes back inside. Ward.
Yeah, you're good. You're good. Take it back.
Harrison.
Wait. Go.
Gathered nicely there by Giordano. Manages to give it back then to Astuno Manuzzi. Stefan. Popped on the near side. Muzo, who plays her rugby at Villorba, possibly been slightly frustrated with the ball she's been delivered on the wing. Soft hands came in by Duca there. Ball is available for Italy. The English defence is suffocating Italy, but mistakes at the breakdown and a penalty opportunity to set up a platform.
That penalty definitely helps Italy there. I think they probably just need to be a little bit more direct with England. The wider the play, the easier it is for England to keep getting line speed and make these real dominant shots. Much better kick as well from Rigoni there, and that's what Italy need to start to try to build a bit of pressure on this England side.
Well, Brown is coming off the field then for England. Coming on in her place is Sarah Byrne. Tasha Hunt, good run from her. Byrne straight onto the field, into the action. There's Maud Muir also on the field of play. It's still Sarah Byrne going. Oh, what a score by Byrne. Less than a minute on the field. What a force of nature. No surprise she had Maud Muir and Connie Powell in support. Fresh legs, fresh ideas, more tries.
And that was all made for me by Natasha Hunt's read at the overthrow. You know, 9 at the back of the line now. She picks off that overthrow from Italy. And like you say, you don't think you're going to be hitting your tight head prop in that situation who's going to go the rest of the 35, maybe 60 metres when you talk to Sarah Byrne. But what a finish, and being actively supported by Maud Muir. And that's what Simon Middleton will want to see. You want to see his bench making instant impact, and Sarah Byrne has certainly gone and done that.
Rowland does get one on the score sheet, 1 from 3 now with the boot, as England start approaching the 50-pointer on the scoreboard. Sarah Byrne, when she actually played England under-20s, she was actually a back row player. She's moved into the front row. She's never really looked backwards since. That was her 17th try she's scored now. She does it all the time at Bristol. If you ever watch the highlight reels from the Premier 15s at the weekend, she frequently makes it. Harrison, Ward. Hunt, Muir. Just confirmation on your screen there of the changes to the English front row.
Tackle, release. Yeah, good, thanks for it.
Rowland. That one's gone straight out. a mistake there. Just talk us through, Katie, the difference in styles and plays between Helena Rowland and Zoe Harrison. We are seeing both of them slot in first receiver in different positions.
Yeah, I think for me, Zoe is definitely starting to nail that tactical understanding and has a phenomenal kicking game like we saw in the autumn and we're seeing here today. I think Helena is definitely more of a running 10. She wants to be in wide open spaces. The assist she put in for Lydia's try, that's where Helena's more comfortable. But the beauty of playing them at 10 and 12 is that the way they can just drop in and out of that first receiver role, it's perfect for the way England want to play.
Well, that was the Hunt break and offload then to Byrne. Just the speed for a tight head, stunning.
But also, that's 50 metres. It's not like she's doing that over 10, 12 metres, and I think you've got to give Sarah Byrne credit there. That is a long way when you're a big, strong, slightly heavier girl, shall we say.
She moves it very, very well.
Good.
But just going back to that kind of Zoe and Helena relationship, I think for England, probably what we need to firm up is who was your 10 and who was your 12, who was running the game, and then who was kind of more of your assist in that situation. I think for me, that's the next step in the evolution of this pairing.
Ball comes on then by the Italians. Vicini currently playing hooker for them. Medea, oh, who was that? Aitchison just waiting, landed in her breadbasket, didn't have to do anything. Harrison there has to pick that one off the floor.
Was that you, Gabrielle?
Hunt. Stefan is scurrying back there into the 22 to gather, and the white shirts just surrounding. They're circling like sharks.
Oh my God, sorry.
And Rosie Gallagher took a big thump there to bring that one down. Loose ball backwards, Tornesi.
Onside white.
A little bit of support arrives in the farm of Giordano. Still Italian ball, but it's slow and in the wrong end of the field.
Not the player.
Stefan is stuck.
Slap the ball out of the hand.
Well, someone had a little hand in there. It was a Poppy Cleal.
No, when they're going to floor.
And those are the ones that they call coach killers, you know. England have done a great job. The pressure turned over the ball, and all the pressure's on Italy to exit.
Okay. Send them on.
Well, you can see that the Italian bench waiting to come on. Sara Barattin there is the standout one, wearing 21. 103rd cap for her today. She joins the field alongside Valeria Federighi. She'll come into the second row. And the more regular captain, Manuela Falan, who many would have expected her to start today, we're told it's just rotation that she was actually dropped. She'll no doubt go into the fullback position. I think there was a few changes there for England as well. Natasha Hunt making her way off the field. You can just see on the left-hand side of your screen in that last shot, you can see Lucy Packer on.
Yeah.
I've said this before, I always think that spray, it's the noise. It sounds like someone's having their hair done in hairspray, doesn't it?
Yeah, but it's magic spray.
Magic spray. Very cold.
Very cold and has a bit of magic in it.
Perfect.
Okay. Time on.
Cures all things. I'm not sure it's going to cure this score line for the Italians. We'll make that line out any better because Byrne read that beautifully. Ward, this is such quick ball from England. They want it again fast. Packer, Harrison. Spun out to the far side. It's McKenna. Kildun going in for the dirty work.
No,
they're going to get told off, the Italians. Saw the face there of Sara Barattin, as if to say, really? Me? Never. Harrison, Matthews. Packer. Powell. Holding on the floor there. Italy get it back, and this has been an onslaught by England now for the last 4 or 5 minutes, and Italy have weathered the storm.
They really have, and Maggie touched on it in the studio at half-time, just about how costly these turnovers have been for England. Italy have taken, I think that's probably 5 now, in and around the attacking 22 situation when you would be expecting England to capitalise on them. And it's just, we're just not getting their numbers right there. Connie's got a little bit isolated. I think it's Fleeto and maybe Abby Ward, they're just slightly arriving too late. And Italy have done a fantastic job of getting over the ball, but also holding their own weight.
By Fleeto, we mean Vicky Fleetwood.
Again, with the nickname, sorry.
You know them so well. Ball comes away for the Italians. Oh, what a great run there by Tornesi. Romagnac flyer in the second row and wanting more. Popped off ball coming through Barattin.
Nope.
She was the first Italian woman to make it to 100 caps. The scrum half on the field now. Unable to get that last pass away through Sillery. They'll come back for the scrum. But those little flashes of play we saw from Italy, when they can get the ball in hand, they can get their handling game working. That's what we saw against France that was so exciting. They just hadn't really been able to put in place today.
Yeah, and that's it. And a lot of it has just come from their unforced errors. What a great line that is. She looks for the offload, isn't on, good support, and then Italy get in behind England. And as soon as you're in behind, that's when danger. And Italy, for me, just need a little bit more composure, because that unforced errors that just give England possession again.
Crouch! Green. Bind! Set!
Well, it's down on the side closest to the cameras.
What are you seeing, Dorian? Wait. Okay, better bind from you. Yeah.
Well, both sides just going to be asked for a better bind by the sound of that exchange. Worth mentioning that next week is actually the 31st anniversary of England and Italy meeting for the very first time back at the 1991 World Cup. Now officially recognised by World Rugby as the first World Cup for women.
Bind!
There's an exhibition all of the World Cups that have been in the women's game at the Rugby Museum at Twickenham.
Okay. Okay, this side is now good. Yes? Same? Yes. Same? Okay, let's go, girls. Quick reset.
Holly Davidson just wants everyone to get back underway again. How many World Cups was it for you, Katie? 3?
Played in 3 and went as an NPR to 2006.
NPR, non-playing reserve.
Well done, yeah.
Thank you. Sometimes I pay attention. Did you have a favourite, or is that a stupid question when you won one?
Yeah, I mean, that obviously winning one was pretty good, but 2006 with no pressure was also quite a nice environment in Canada.
Another final not to be for England on that occasion, as Kildunn just takes on the ball, makes a good 10 metres. Cleal, nice work with Matthews. Here she comes, still Alex Matthews. Drags along about 3 Italian players with her, Packer. Alex Matthews has carried a lot of ball along her and Poppy Cleal. We have checked in with the England team. Worth mentioning that Sadi Kabea, she didn't actually come off injured. It was always a plan for Vicky Fleetwood to get the game time in Italy. You saw there one of the doctors just having a chat with Lucy Packer on your screen.
Okay, time off.
I think it's Holly Aitchison, actually.
Yeah, good.
Another change then for England. Ellie Kildunn makes her way off the field, and a chance to see Emma Singh in an England shirt once again. Only made her debut last week against Scotland.
Dorian, picture on your side of the last scrum.
You're involved in a lot of the Premier 15s in your performance director role at Sale Sharks Women, Katie. What have you made of Emma Singh? There's been a lot of calls for her to get a chance to play?
Yeah, I think it's a deserved opportunity, isn't it? I think, like you've said, there's been a lot of people who've been advocating for her in terms of how she's performed in Prem 15. So she's a very good goal kicker. She carries the ball back very well from a full-back position, and especially given how slight she is, she really fights above her weight. And I think it's going to be fascinating to see that journey for her. She develops into a red rose.
Well, Italy just carry on then. A little bit more treatment for them. Just a little reminder then, we'll be back next week on Saturday. More TikTok Women's Six Nations action. It will be England against Italy. I think it's safe to say with the scoreline as it is that both of those sides will be 2 from 2. Someone will lose their O. As we just see coming onto the field there, a debut for Francesca Barro. Ex-Treviso player, now plays tried at Valsugana. She can also play at hooker, so she's a really useful woman to have around this Italian squad. Not what we want to see the Italian players going off in that kind of discomfort. Nice to hear the applause as they go off the field.
It's going to be on the 5. Hookers?
Well, again, that's been a very long stoppage just to make sure that everyone is safe and ready to get off the field. We've been told for that match at Kingsholm next week between England and Wales, there's over 11,000 tickets already sold, so on course for a sellout.
Crouch! Bind! Set! Stone.
Well, a real lull in proceedings at the moment as these front rows sort themselves out.
You need to get a longer bind, you need to get off her shoulder. Yes.
It's not boiling hot in Italy today. We were told that the temperature was around 10 or 11. It felt a lot hotter perhaps in Edinburgh last week, but does it add an extra layer to how the teams approach it with this being a spring tournament now?
Bind!
I think so, yeah. I mean, having only played in more of a kind of a winter tournament, I think especially for the front rows, it does change that a little bit.
Oh, the connection's not working there for the Italians. Packer. Cleal. Some big names still on the bench for England. Sarah Hunter and Emily Scarrett still yet to appear. Will they appear at all?
Off feet!
Harrison. Back inside to McKenna. Cleal. Cleal and Matthews have had some lovely link play, always knowing where each other are. Ward. Muir. Wait for this one. England have made over 1,000 metres now in this game.
Hold.
Italy have had to watch every single one of them.
Advantage, not rolling.
Packer to Cleal. Popped off to Muir.
Number 3.
Harrison. Ward with the long pass out wide. Singh is there! A debut try for Emma Singh on her second cap. It's been a bit of a break, but that's now 9 on the score sheet for England.
Yeah, I think after that stoppage, and again, for me, the most frustrating thing, I suppose, if you want to be a neutral, is just Italy compound their errors by not exiting that scrum. But England forwards went really hard to work there. It's and England they've got a lot of the bouncers today, haven't they? In that situation, that ball from Helena probably isn't to anybody specific, but it's sat up, it's bounced into Emma Singh's hands, and she gets a walk in untouched. But a lot of the hard yards prior to that were done by England pack. You know, Poppy Cleal, Alex Matthews, that we've talked about for the majority of the 65 minutes, just making it really, really hard for Italy to fold and to get off the line and pressure this England back line.
Well, Helena Rowland will be happier with her kicking from those last 2 attempts at sticks. 2 from 4 now. Helena Rowland came from rugby league originally. She ended up playing with now what must be one of the most famous young girls sides we've seen in Welwyn. The Welwyn girls side of about 5 years ago featured Helena Rowland, Zoe Harrison and Hannah Bottoman. And although Hannah Bottoman now plays prop, we're reliably assured she was a centre then.
Calls out.
Can you imagine running at that lot in your teenage years? Impressive stuff. Packer. Burn. Could feel that one from wherever you're sat watching this. Harrison.
In front, hold.
Rowland.
Hold.
High one into the air. Who's going to get underneath it? Baratin. Ostuno Minuzzi. Solari. Quick pass out towards this near side. Furlan. Big push going forward by Bacchini. Medea.
Extra rule when Jacko's on feet.
Well, the warning there against the Italians that they've made the changes, but they just, at the breakdown in particular, they've really struggled. The penalties are racked up against them as well.
I thought Abby Ward was lucky there, but actually, like Holly's said then, she's done it for the extra roll, because actually Abby's hands were on the ground, but just because a Jackalow was in place, the opportunity was there for England to get the turnover. Okay. England have been rewarded for that.
And this was the ruck.
13. Hold on to Rhea.
No cards so far in this fixture. Both sides have managed to hold on to a complement as 15, as there she is. Emily Scarrett enters the field.
Time on.
As Holly Aitchison makes way. Emily Scarrett currently on 49 tries for England. She's also closing in on her 100th cap as well. This outing for her today is number 98. Big milestones approaching.
Number 5 side
she would have already reached them if it wasn't for that injury at the start of the season. Packer, Harrison. Nice touch through. There's 2 women on it. It's Scarrett for 50.
Heel check.
They're going to go and look at it, but Emily Scarrett comes on, reads that beautiful put through by Harrison, and she's got 50 in the locker for England.
No doubt she would have demanded that of Zoe Harrison, that little worm kick through, the type of girl that Emily Scarrett is. But I mean, again, it's Italy infringe at the line now. England have got penalty advantage, they've got nothing to lose, but what a lovely weighted kick that is by Zoe Harrison. Great line. I mean, they're queuing up. There's Emma Singh, there's Helena Rowlands there. Fresh Skazi beats them to it all, but for me, it's the weight of that kick. That is such a hard skill, to thread through defenders that are coming across you and actually drop that into a space. So well done, Zoe Harrison. That is an absolutely lovely kick.
Can make this 4-0.
They're going to have a look.
Just checking a potential takeout off the ball.
Well, it's taken a long time, but if the kick hasn't been taken, the officials still have the right to go and take a look at it. Our television match official today is Eric Gauzin of France, and they're looking to see if someone's been taken out off the ball.
Yeah, I just see those 2 players running back to get the ball.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I'm happy.
Yeah.
Looks like it was Emma Singh and Sillery. Sillery's appealing that she was held.
Yeah, good, thank you.
It looks like she was almost tripped. Is Holly Davidson happy? Yes, she is. Well, the biggest scoreline between these two sides was when England actually beat Italy back in 2008. It was England 76, Italy 6 that day. It would take a very impressive closing 12 minutes to actually beat that one, but they're not far off.
No, and I think we just want to keep seeing more of them bright sparks from Italy, isn't it? Just their defence is going well. We just have to stop. They have to stop England's momentum.
Packer then. Here comes Hunter, regular England captain, but it was originally Cleal who was given the armband today. Knocked on, Italy with the opportunity.
Always going backwards.
They're going to bring it back. You do just think with Italy, they're just not confident enough taking the ball into contact. The last pass just isn't on.
And for me, I think sometimes they're forced a little bit, especially on turnover. England have a good defensive line. They've got a good space in between them. They're covering a lot of the pitch. I'd just like to see Italy be a little bit more direct, especially for the early phases, just to try to suck some more of that England defence in. So actually when Italy are going more into the wide channels, they're not going against such a long England line.
We've spoken a lot actually about the World Cup and the build up to this, and worth mentioning that the group that Italy go into at the World Cup, they've got Canada, USA and Japan. And you would argue that's going to be the tightest pool at the World Cup. Japan will be a little bit of an unknown as England get the penalty at the scrum.
And collapse.
USA and Canada, a lot of their players are currently flooding into the Premier 15s. They're really using it as their training ground. I've had a few Italian players turning up in the Premier 15s, but perhaps not as many as other nations.
No, not at all. And I think what's going to be difficult for Italy is going to be the size and the packs of USA and Canada. You know, similar to England, you look at how much momentum England have gained from their forwards. Canada and USA are very similar to that.
Harrison, options all over the park. Scarrett. Well, I think this might have been coming for a while. One of the Italian players is going, oh, and it's a big one as well. Of all the players to lose, he did not want to lose Beatrice Regoni. Fair decision by the referee?
Not really.
I think so, yes. I think probably maybe slightly unfair on the player that's got the card, but as an accumulative account of penalties that Italy have given in and around their 22s and their red zones, it had to come at some point, yes.
How many?
So it looks like Italy are going to have to see out this with just 14 women on the field, and that's going to make an already tricky task that much more difficult. Not quite functioning there from the line out from England.
Away, no, wait!
It might look good on the scoreline for England, but they do have their flaws. They do make mistakes. There certainly will be work-ons after this.
And away, wait!
And that ball slowed down by two of the more experienced players on the field there in the form of Hunter and Scarrett.
Onside.
Well, Italy, they're trying to play out of such a short area at the moment.
Stripped. Play on.
It looked like it had gone forward.
Stripped by 11.
But happy that that was taken out by England.
Blue on the line.
And you do just question what the Italian exit policy is.
I think because they're getting themselves caught in the middle of the field, which is making it really hard for a kicker to drop into a pocket. So in that situation, they've had to try and work their way to an edge. But just how many phases they're taking to get that is really causing them problems.
Oh, 200 tackles by Italy. I mean, take a bow. They've mixed 36, but when you've got those kind of numbers, maybe you are going to miss a few.
Okay, 5. Advantage, 21 side entry.
Packer Takes her time, not in a rush. Harrison all backwards, crossfield kick.
Advantage.
No, they're going to come back.
21, side entry.
And another warning for Italy, already down to 14.
Time off.
Helena Rowland just rushes up there. Very keen to go up into the faces there. There's a little bit of treatment going on to one of the Italian players that they will just pause for. It's Tornesi who thinks she's got a little bit of cramp there by the look of things. And she's been a real force, you have to say, Sara Tornesi. She stood out the Romagnan lock.
She's been absolutely phenomenal, you know, in a game where people have made, the team as a whole have made 200 tackles. She had a phenomenal stat at half time, you know, she made the tackle on Poppy Keel at 65 minutes where she's just got out the line and chopped her. She's carried well, especially through the middle. So a lot of Italy's best bits today have really come through that girl, and she's had an absolutely outstanding shift.
Well, it might be a surprise it's taken this long, but we get to see Elisa Dinka come onto the field. She was a real firecracker against France last week.
21, side entry.
Of course, they're down to 14, so how she slots into that back line, she might have to be covering a bit more ground than perhaps she previously thought.
Okay, one drop.
A lot of focus on Powell for this throw, and after the last one went awry. Go long again. Gallagher can't take it, but Muir is there. Hunter. 132 caps for her today. Ward. Gallagher.
And away.
Hunter again, making herself available, knowing she's got those fresh legs. Big one again from Muir. The Wasps prop, 20 years old. Packer. They're pushing to the far side. Surely there's numbers available. Finished by Sarah McKenna. That's another one for the Saracens woman. 10, 11 tries now for England.
And I think that defensive toll has really started to take it. Has taken its toll, sorry, on Italy there. Like you say, they've made in excess of 200 tackles, and there's just only so long they can live with England. England are constantly making ground. A really unselfish pass there from Emma Singh to put McKenna in, because I think she was pretty much over the line there. But good straightening, and McKenna literally just has to dot it down in the corner.
Sarah McKenna has the job in the England camp of keeping everyone's morale up. Social secretary. Apparently they've been playing bingo this week, I've been told.
Sarah McKenna is very, very good at that as well. Some of the creative things that girl came up with over lockdown were absolutely fantastic as well, and she really takes that role very seriously.
It was balloon animals in the autumn, if my memory serves me well. Big chat was around the focus that the England captain Sarah Hunter spent making a giraffe and decorating it.
Great kick there from Helena Rowlands as well from the touchline, matching Zoe Harrison from the first half.
There's Poppy Cleal off the field, lots of ice on that knee. Waiting for the restart from Italy. Does just land it on the right side of that 10-metre line.
Onside.
Lam was there offering herself, but Baratin arrived. Penalty for Italy.
Number 20.
England need to be alive to Baratin. Furlan on her shoulder. Big run coming in by Sarasay.
Ball is out, play on, ball is
Look
out.
at that rucking from England. Oh, just knocked on at the last by Gallagher. They had won it.
It's going to be a scrum.
It's an Italy restart.
England have been phenomenal at the breakdown today, and I think that's probably what's rattled Italy at times. They've not been able to really kind of control their own speed of ball, because if they have, England have fired it, they've really countered, rucked it. So any opportunity where Italy maybe want to slow down the pace and get organised, England have really forced their hand.
It's Veronica Medea there, the Italian fly half, a one-club woman, always played at Colano. the happy smiling face of Natasha Hunt, the TikTok Women's Six Nations Player of the Match, decided by our Italian colleagues, and what a comeback.
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't have wished for it. Natasha Hunt is one of the nicest people you'll meet in rugby, alongside the likes of Sarah Hunter, so you couldn't wish for a return that isn't any more perfect than that.
Well, Italy would like a scoreline that reflects some kind of points in their direction. Baratin. Hands, they go through to Duca, but it's all been knocked on. Hunter. And England just get ready to go again. They don't even blink an eye. They do knock on a ball, though. The first one was Italian, and we'll have a scrum. The decision for Natasha Hunt to get that player of the match, just her support play, linking play.
I think just the way she started the game, you know, England started with a real high tempo. The little spot for Sarah McKenna's opening try, just speed of ball. She just kept England moving and constantly was a changing direction of attack. And I just don't think that allowed Italy to settle. It certainly never allowed them to get off the line and squeeze England.
Crouch! Bind!
You've got to say Poppy Cleal also had a phenomenal shift as well.
Both Cleal and Alex Matthews heavily involved with carrying a lot of ball. That scrum from England. Oh, look at that. Sarah Hunter, that is her absolute USP. Rowland.
Advantage over.
Still going from Rowland on that far side. Eventually she runs out of pitch.
Touch.
Eleanor Rowland now playing at Loughborough. She did have some time at Saracens. She won the Premiership with Saracens back in 2018 before moving. There's Rosie Gallagher, Quinn's lock.
Are you in the line out?
This likely to be the last thing we see. 14 Italian women going up against the 15 of England. And England will want to make the last dent.
In front, hold.
Madeir.
Hold.
McKenna.
Passed all up.
Singh manages to find Scarra outright to Thompson. Can she finish this off? Dinka has a no! It's a hat-trick for Lydia Thompson. That will be the last thing we see. A 12th try for England in one of the most accomplished, composed performances you'll see from women in a white shirt.
What a wonderful try it was. It was well caught by Sarah McKenna, but the pressure Emily Scarrett was on, she didn't need to do anything, she just need to catch and give Lydia Thompson the opportunity. And we've seen Lydia do that many a times. At Sandy Park against France to win the game, you know, a girl that just knows where the touchline is, the pace of which she can travel, and she is so difficult to stop at that.
Well, a hat-trick then for Lydia Thompson, a couple for Sarah McKenna as well. The wings certainly playing their part in this performance.
Yes,
4 from 6 then for Helena Rowland. That one to the right-hand side, but it doesn't matter. Look at this scoreline, 20 wins in a row now for England as they close in on that world record. Untroubled by the Italians today. They're 2 from 2. It's Italy 0, England 74. Katie Daly-McLean, there's always work-ons, but that was impressive.
Yeah, and I think what England will be pleased at is just the difference in the game from Scotland. You know, Maggie again touched on it. They made a lot more handling errors in that game, but today everything just kind of went to plan more. They were more accurate, they were kept possession better. I thought the way they carried and the speed of ball of which they played with just never allowed Italy really to get into the game. And I'm sure Italy will be disappointed with their performance as a group, but I think you've got to give England a lot of credit for the way that they just didn't allow that to happen.
Well, that's it from us. Let's head back to the studio and Sonia.
Thank you to Sarah and Katie Daly-McLean. Well, there you go. You can only beat what's in front of you, can't you? And England have done that in dominant fashion. Back-to-back wins, 21 tries. Maggie, was that an upgrade, if you like, from the performance we saw against Scotland?
Yeah, I would say it was, especially in the second half. So the first half probably was a bit of a slow start for England, even though they got the 5 tries. But the second half, I thought England really definitely stifled the way Italy played. So Italy couldn't really get into the game and couldn't really launch any decent attack. But I think England will be really pleased with the way they ended that. You know, just they were more clinical, they were a bit more aggressive in defence. But overall, there's still more to work on, but overall a good game.
Yeah, it's going to be a really frustrating watch back for Italy. Really struggled with their set piece, couldn't keep possession, you know, compounding error after error, which just gifted the ball back to England. And at times they were extremely ruthless.
Yeah, they were. Ruthless is a good word when you see that England have scored 12 tries. They took their opportunities, didn't they? The first coming in the second half from Lydia Thompson. And off air, you said to me, she ended up with a hat-trick. You said to me, I really like her. What is it you like about her in particular?
She's just such a strong runner. Whenever she gets the ball, she will always beat the first defender. She's got such strength in the contact area that it takes 2 or 3 players to literally be able to pull her down. But she stays really patient. It's a lovely threading ball from Sarah McKenna. She just spined Lydia Thompson in the corner there. But what a finish. She's still got a lot of work to do there. She's still got to get on the outside. But she's somebody, if you give her an inch, she's going to absolutely take it.
Maggie, if you saw her on your wide outside, you'd be pretty happy, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I wouldn't want to defend her. That's the thing I wouldn't want to do. But she's always been a good athlete. I remember from the Rugby World Cup in 2017, scored some sensational tries there. She's always someone who's progressing, and I'm pleased that she's had a good game today.
Yeah, OK. Now, the bench, when they came on, they call them finishers these days, but actually they really did do a job. They made an immediate impact, didn't they, Maggie?
They did. I mean, look, we're talking about, you got Fleetwood who came on, who was fantastic, you know, somebody who you don't need to give many opportunities for her to really get involved in the game. Sarah Byrne, I mean, she's the one who stood out for me the most. She came on, did a beautiful handoff. I think she took 2 people out and then scored a good try. But the first try here, it came from Vicky Fleetwood getting involved and then just driving and staying strong and getting that try. Again, probably one of the most easiest tries she's ever scored. And then we go on to Sarah Byrne, who scores after this. It came from a really good read from Natasha Hunt, you know, spotting that overthrow. But watch this, one handoff, then again, look for the second one. Big handoff, can't see it properly on the screen there, but it was really good when you watched it in live play. But it just shows you again, this player has the ability to play like a back row or centre. She's got good vision and good strength. And then the next try comes from Singh. You know, not the best pass from Roland, but good work by Singh just to pick up that ball from what was a good bounce. But the bench were really impressive and showed a lot of expertise and experience when they came on.
We talked about a pre-match, didn't we? Old Natasha Hunt. She did not let us down, given all the hype. She has ended up, after her first test since late November 2020, she's come into the team. She's ended up with Player of the Match. We can hear from her now.
Natasha Hunt, that was some return after 18 months. Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, I loved it, to be honest. It's just been amazing to be back with the girls, back in the group, and it's so special. So yeah, love throwing the ball around with my mates.
We said before the game it was all going to be about tempo, and as the conductor, you certainly kept that tempo high through the entire game.
Yeah, I tried to. That's one thing that I love playing. Like, I love playing with quick ball and speed of ball. So my big aim coming into this was just to raise the tempo and keep driving that. It's something we've worked really hard on in training. So if I've managed to do that, then I've done my job, and I'm happy with that.
And the most satisfying element of your game?
Yeah, I reckon so. Like, just getting that ball, and that back line was ridiculous today. So being able to play a small part in trying to fizz the ball out and let them do their thing was pretty special.
Well, congratulations. I think the Red Roses have missed you, and you are the deserved TikTok Women's Six Nations Player of the Match. Congratulations.
Thanks, Simon. Thank you.
And she's always got a smile as wide as a rugby pitch, and I think it's going to stay there all evening. It's really intriguing, this scrum half battle now with the arrival back into the squad, Rachel, of Natasha Hunt. Where would you say at the minute she's in the World Cup pecking order?
Oh, it's a tough one, and it's a good competition to have. You know, for me, Leanne Infante, she's probably got a bit more in the bank at the moment. Mo's been fantastic today and deserves Player of the Match, but you need to see that consistently. But it's a huge battle that Simon Middleton's going to have on his hand for going into the World Cup, and it's one that England need. They need to have strength and depth there, because the way they want to play, high tempo, both of those can bring that.
Yeah, if it was a World Cup final tomorrow, who are your 2 nines in the 23?
Who are my 2 nines?
Yeah.
It'd be Infante and Natasha Hunt.
Very good. Well, there you go. Excellent.
I'm glad you didn't ask me. I was like looking away.
Yeah, I gave that hospital pass to Rachel. Let's see another try, shall we? Because it was almost inevitable, wasn't it? We knew Emily Scarrett would come on. And she never does things by halves, does she? Chalking up a 50th try for England. Were you surprised, actually, that she didn't come on a little bit sooner, Maggie?
Yeah, she came on in the 66th minute, which you kind of think, for a player like her, you want to give her more game time. But it was brilliant work by Zoe Harrison. Spots the vision, spots the space, little grubber through. Beautiful bounce there for Scarrett. It just sits up for her. It's almost an easy try for her. And she comes on, first touch, first try. What a way to make an impact when she came on. Again, she sort of puts fear in opposition's faces almost when you see her on the field.
Yeah, and England weren't done then, because at that point, they were leading 62-0. You thought, well, maybe this game is winding down, Rachel, but nope, still hadn't finished.
No, they definitely wanted to keep their foot on the pedal, and, you know, Lucy Packer, I think, had a really good impact into the game, kept that tempo in it. But for me, I think Sarah McKenna has been really notable in this game. She's playing out of position, she's been out for a number of months, and to come back in and slot in and score 2 brilliant tries, you know, I know this is just catching it and scoring it over the line, but she's worked her work rate throughout the game to get her into position to be able to score those tries. It's been really important. But I mean, from one wing to the other wing, Lydia Thompson, again, getting a hat-trick in this game, just such a strong runner. We've talked about it time and time again, but her ability to just back herself is really hard to defend against.
I think that's the winger who saw a flanker get a hat-trick last weekend and gone, you know what? No, Marley Packer, I'm getting a hat-trick. Now, look, England don't have the ball, are not without the ball that often, are they? Let's face it, when you've scored 12 tries. It was one of those things they wanted to work on in terms of what they do when they don't have the ball, which is as much, you know, the hard work that goes into that. How do you feel they dealt with that today, Maggie?
I think in the second half it definitely did much better. I know going into the championship, Middleton talked about this, but again, they didn't have the ball. The pressure they put on Italy in the breakdown was very good. So the pressure they put on, they fly up in threes. So as you can see that they're closing down Italy's space, so they're unable to make that final pass. And then Kildun gets on the ball, and then they almost make a nuisance of themselves. Again, watch them here in the line in the defence. They come up as almost like a pack, and it's closing down any space that Italy have. So Italy aren't able to go wide. But again, England do this time and time again. Mo Hunt comes out of the line. Then you see Alex Matthews then comes out the line. So it's having those 1 or 2 players just to fly up almost and put pressure on and look for that intercept there, which Aitken does very well.
It's just such desperation, isn't there, around, you know, even if they haven't got the ball, their mindset, let's go put the pressure on, let's get the ball back. Because England want to come alive with the ball in hand, but they know that, you know, in a game of rugby, it's not often that you're always going to have the ball, but just their hunger to want to keep putting pressure on, to want to get the ball back. You know, I think they've been really smart around the breakdown, when to go in and when to stay on their feet, to give them that line speed to be able to go and put pressure on them. So I think Simon Minister would be really pleased with how their defensive efforts
Yeah, they really do continue to drive standards, don't they, England? Someone at the heart of that is their captain, Poppy Cleall. We can hear from her now.
Well, Poppy Cleall, England captain, big score, big performance. Satisfied?
I just want to start by saying our thoughts and love and support are with Maddie Lawrence and her family and the whole of UE rugby team. I used to play with them, and the rugby community are here for you, and just wanted to pass on our love and support.
Well said.
With regards to the game, yeah, I think mids asked for intensity, work rate and effort, and I think that's what you got today. We're working our socks off out there and trying to bring in the stuff we'd worked on training out there, and sometimes it didn't quite work, but other times it did. And you know, Lydia going in for, I think it was a couple, McKenna going in for a couple, and they were well-worked team tries.
I hate to tell you, but Lydia got a hat-trick.
Oh, did she?
She's not going to be the stop crowing about that. The great thing, though, from the Red Roses' perspective was you didn't seem to take your foot off the accelerator through the entire game.
Yeah, we can't control everything, but what we can control is that. So making sure we're putting in all the effort we can, putting our foot down and keeping it there. That's sort of a physicality and effort attribute, and that's something that we pride ourselves on. And every game we want to bring that.
And it doesn't seem to matter who's on the pitch. Bringing in players, 9 different players coming in today, everybody seems to be producing this quality performance.
Yeah, I think the strength and depth is something that mids and the coaching staff worked on post the last World Cup. So I think that's products of everyone's labour and hard work. The fact that you can bring on those 9 players and it's kind of seamless. And like I said, like the performances from Sadia stepping up, even the wingers, McKenna and Lydia getting their shot, you know, they took it with both hands and produced the goods today.
You've enjoyed the road trip. Now, though, you get back to home soil, King's Home, next Saturday. Looking forward to that? Oh,
so much so. You know, away, first 2 games of the Six Nations is tough, and on the road a lot, but we've got a 6-day turnaround and we get to go to Gloucester, and I think they sold an incredible amount of tickets. Hopefully just keep staying all week, and we get a massive support behind us for that game.
Well, enjoy tonight and get set for Wales. Thanks, Poppy.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Yeah, we'll have that game live on BBC Two. Here's the table as it stands, and 3 teams unbeaten. England topping the way, of course, by points difference, because they've scored, 522 million tries. So there we go. How much have you enjoyed these opening 2 rounds of the TikTok Women's Six Nations?
I've really enjoyed them. I think it's been really good. It's been competitive. We've had big crowds as well. I know big viewing figures as well to watch us. But overall, it's been really positive, and I'm looking forward to seeing how the championship continues to develop, because I think there's going to be more tries as we go along.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we've seen some glimpses of what teams can do, but I believe that we've got so much more growth to go within the competition. It's going to be hotting up over the next few games.
Thank you very much, both Maggie Alfonsi, Rachel Burr, for a resounding win for the Red Roses again. They'll be back on home soil next week, though, facing a resurgent Wales. We'll have that game live here on BBC Two. Join us from Gloucester. See you then. Bye-bye.
The final match in round 2 of the Women's Six Nations is underway. Hunt passes out wide. There's no one there. It's McKenna. Passed out to the far side. It's Lydia Thompson. 2 on the board for England. A bonus point try scored by Shauna Brown. And here comes Thompson. That's a brace. It's still Sarah Byrne going. Oh, what a score by Byrne. What a force of nature. Nice touch through. There's 2 women on it. It's Scarrett for 50. She's got 50 in the locker for England. It's a hat-trick for Lydia Thompson. A 12th try for England.